Coming up next, we're going to talk about the habits of the most innovative people. And then I'm going to give you 5 reasons to consider leaving your job. We'll take your calls and your chat questions, and it starts now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how to get there. It is about you and your purpose, your progress to meaningful work. We all long to make a difference in this world. And then when you think about the amount of time we spend at work throughout our life, on average, 90,000 hours is what a person will spend at work. And we look at 80% of people around the globe not being engaged in their work. This is a massive issue. It's why you're miserable on Mondays. You may not hate your job, but there's some misery there because it doesn't fulfill you. You don't have a sense of purpose. You don't feel the juice, as I like to say. And so that is not a sentence. That's just your situation. We want to help you with that. We want to help you see how you can make an impact and make the income that you desire. There's really 3 groups of people that we reach out to and speak to on the show. People who have no idea what they want to do with their life, no sense of purpose or calling. People who know what they want to do, but aren't quite sure how to get there. And then the 3rd group, people who know what they want to do, know how to get there, but fear and doubt are holding them back. So if that's you, no shame in your game. Welcome to the human race. We've all been in one of those groups. I want to move you to that ultimate experience of living and working in your sweet spot where you use what you do best, talent, to perform work you love, passion, to produce results that make your heart come alive, make your heart sing. That's mission. Then you're in your contribution zone. I call it the sweet spot. There are multiple jobs, multiple careers, and even multiple dream jobs in that sweet spot. So let's get to it. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. 844-747-2577. You can submit your chat question. We'll get to those a little bit later in the program. But first, great piece from Fast Company, 6 habits of the most innovative people. This is a really good article, and I want to roll through these really quick, and it's a super, super quick list. But you need to, when you hear this, you go, you know what? Where am I at? Do I have these habits? And where you're missing one, I can tell you that's where you need to be developing some discipline. Here we go. 6 habits of the most innovative, and I would say effective people. Number 1, they have an endless pursuit of knowledge. We can just call that good old-fashioned curiosity. I want to keep learning, and if I keep learning, I'm growing. But if I stop learning, I'm not growing, and guess what? I'm dying. That's just a fact. Number 2, understanding they need help in order to reach that desired destination. Folks, we can't do it on our own. Today, as I sit here in this studio, performing my passion and producing my mission, I'm in my dream job. I'm standing on the shoulders of so many women and men who have helped me on the journey. I didn't get here by myself. Neither did any other very successful and influential person. Number 3, they generate excitement and remain a constant source of inspiration. Oh, I love this one. That means that these men and women, they're just constantly inspiring others and creating excitement around others. They've got I call it the juice. They got the juice. I mean, you can just see somebody who's got the juice. Somebody walk up to you and they don't even have to say anything. They got the juice. They're on fire. I mean, they're excited to be alive. Number 4, they have a relentless desire to change the world. Now, earlier we talked about this desire for knowledge, but this is another step here. They have habits where they're trying to change the world. And I think sometimes we hear that and it sounds really romantic, and also it's equally intimidating. So let me change the way we say that. They have a relentless desire to change their world. After all, the people in history that we admire and we learn about that had worldwide global influence, they didn't set out to do that. They set out to change their world, and it really worked, and it multiplied. And as a result, they did change the world. But if we set out to change our world, our zip code, our neighborhood, our class, our group of friends, our church, our community, then it's not so intimidating. Number 5, they have an open-mindedness, a willingness to change at any second. I love that. Change is so difficult for so many people. It just is. It's just hard. It really is. But if you can become a person who begins to build an appetite for change and a muscle to handle change, it's going to set you apart. And finally, there's a commitment to self-improvement. I mentioned this earlier in the article that there's 2 realities. Either you're growing or you're dying. I know that sounds really stark, but it's just true. If you've ever broken an arm or a leg and it went in a cast, and they take that cast off and you compare arms, inevitably the one that's been in the cast, the one that's not been used, thus the muscles aren't being used, thus they aren't growing. What are they doing? They're atrophying. They are dying. That's the idea here. These men and women are committed to always improving in every area of their life. Physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, professionally. They are committed to growing. So there are the 6 habits of some of the most successful people. Take an inventory of that. You're going to find a gap in your life. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. Let's get the conversation started. We're going to Homosassa, Florida. Never even heard of that. Clayton is there. Clayton, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. So good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
Big fan of the show and all the Ramsey guys.
Thank you. Thank you. How can I help?
Well, my question for you today is my wife and I are expecting our first child.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Thank you so much. So I am called to preach. The Lord saved me and called me to preach when I was 14 years old, and I'm training for the ministry right now. Actually, my wife's dad is our pastor, so I'm here in the church training under him, getting ready to be full-time ministry one day. Mm-hmm. My wife, though, when she has the baby in May, she plans to come home from work, and that's basically going to cut our income in half. So what I was wondering, the reason I'm working a regular job now is because I am in training, and I'm just working so that I can be here to train and do different things in the church. So for now, we don't know our exact direction for ministry. My program is supposed to actually end in May when she has the baby, and then I'll be open to whatever the Lord takes us to go do, whether it be pastor, evangelist. It's just not 100% nailed down on all that yet.
Okay.
But basically my question is there, do you have any recommendations for what maybe my wife could do from home that would be flexible mm-hmm. and part-time, that she'd be able to help supplement some of that lost income while we're still here?
I think we can brainstorm some things. What would you say are her most transferable top talents? Meaning she's just really good at these hard skills and soft skills. Mm. What would you say are the top 3 to 5?
Well, right now she works at a doctor's office. She's a receptionist. So she's really good at, she takes a lot of phone calls all day long. She works on the computers and inputs information. She's very, very personable. She's able to talk to people, which I know that's not a very easy thing to do from home, unless it's
sure
on
it
the
is.
phone.
Wait a second. Wait. That's not true. If you are really good at connecting with others, and she's very personable. So there's customer service jobs that you can do remote. So she could be taking care of people over the phone all day long. Customer service jobs, anything like that. So yeah, that's a wonderful skill. What else? Is she very detailed?
She is. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. That fits in there too, because again, I know a lot of women are thriving at home as virtual assistants, virtual executive assistants. They're working for an executive maybe on the other side of the country. But because of technology and email, and they work on their schedule, and they talk to them on the phone, they Zoom, whatever. So there's lots of ideas. What else would you say? So we've got, she's very personable. She's detail-oriented. Give me something else.
I would say that she is very concerned with doing what she does right, making sure that everything's good. She's always there at the office. She's always checking everything, making sure that all the patients are well taken care of.
So we're going to say that she's very thorough. So she's personable, connects well with others, communicates well with others. She's detailed and she's thorough. Dude, how many jobs are available for working from home when you got those top talents? Those are abilities and qualities. I mean, it's just a function of looking at what's out there right now. And if it's going to be, sounds to me like it'll be part-time, not full-time, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes,
so she needs to be looking at what you all need to be sitting down and going, what's realistic? It's your first baby, so you guys don't even know what you don't know yet, right? And that's kind of the fun thing about being a parent. And so I would be sitting down going, all right, to the best of our ability, how many hours do we really think that you can work? And she can talk to her mom and other young moms and go, okay, knowing what we know about babies, she's probably got a window between 9 and 3 or 9 and 4. Doesn't mean she's going to be working 9 to 4 each day, but there's probably a window there with naps and that kind of thing. And so you just say, okay, we think that she's going to be able to legitimately do 20 hours a week. Okay. But we don't know what we don't know. So maybe we say 15 to 20, and you start looking for jobs that are part-time, that what I would call, this would be customer service, phone, telecommunication type jobs, where again, being detailed and thorough. So, I mean, she could be an executive assistant or an assistant, administrative work, customer service work. I mean, I think there's all kinds of stuff out there, that she could do. And so you start looking for that, and then you start matching it up with, does she have the talent to pull this off? Because it's just a day job. And so it didn't have to be passion or mission. She didn't have to love it or produce results that she cares deeply about, because it's a day job and it's a part-time day job. So then we look for that out there, and we start going after it. But yeah, there's all kinds of things she can do. She starts now, by the way. You guys need to start lining this up now.
Yes, sir.
Or start looking for it, and then you match up the time when she comes home. Then boom, is she going to take 3 months off? You guys have to discuss that.
Right.
So this is not difficult. You all just need to get online and see what's out there in your area, and then even look for national jobs that, again, because she can work from home, there's tons of opportunities. So brainstorm in those areas, and don't forget the power of talking to others. It's why I wrote the book, The Proximity Principle. Even for a day job, how do you get to the day job that's part-time, allows your wife to work from home? The Proximity Principle. Get around the right people and in the right places. People who are doing what she wants to do. Are you telling me in your area there's not other stay-at-home moms who do work online or remote work, or who's doing remote work in the area, and do they have some part-time positions? That's what we're trying to do. And when we do that, opportunities are going to present themselves. They go, oh, we're looking for somebody. Oh, really? To do what? Well, we need a customer service rep. And the training is really easy, super flexible. All you got to do is reach out to 20 people every day, or whatever it is. So don't overcomplicate this. That's the process that you need to walk through together and begin talking to everybody that you know. Close family and friends, level 1. Next level, your acquaintances, coworkers at the church, church members. My goodness, everybody in your dad's church, you need to let them know. She's the daughter of the pastor, for crying out loud. You don't need to know anybody else. So get the word out. And when you spread the word, opportunities come your way. 844-747-2577. Let's go next to Denver, Colorado. And Ryan is on the line. Ryan, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how are you?
I'm living the dream, sir. How can I help?
So I have got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know if there's something I can do different or what I'm doing wrong. in terms of career choice. I haven't had a real career job in 19 months since my wife got transferred to Denver. Background, I used to be an automotive engineer for 5 years, and then my wife got a job transfer out to here, and I've been applying, getting interviews, even outside of the automotive industry, but I just can't secure employment. Like I've done odds and end jobs. I've done ride sharing to help support my family, but it's either I get a denial, they want other candidates, or I'm overqualified, and I'm just trying to get some help.
That's interesting to me. When I hear overqualified, I always want to dig into that. So when I hear overqualified, it means that you're asking for too much money in your application. Is that right?
It's not necessarily about money. Like one instance was like it was underpaying for what I was getting, but I was acceptable to take what they would offer at the most. But they still wouldn't even like offer the position to me,
even though you were willing to take it at the rate that they were offering.
Correct.
And so their answer was you're overqualified?
Yeah.
Okay, they're lying to you. I just want you to know that. And I want everybody watching to understand something. It makes 0 sense. I just want to walk through this really quick, Ryan, and we're going to get into your situation. But, folks, it makes 0 sense if a guy like Ryan or you who've heard this message before that you're overqualified. It makes 0 sense that if someone says, well, we can only pay you this much, I mean, you're overqualified for this. You go, I'm not, because I'm willing to do the work and I'm willing to take the job at the rate you're willing to pay, and they still say you're overqualified. They're lying to you. This is what humans do because they don't like confrontation. They don't like going, we're not going to hire you for this reason, this reason. So you know what they say? Oh, you're overqualified, to try to soften the blow. It's a total lie. Makes 0 sense. If I'm someone hiring Ryan and I see that Ryan's got a ton of qualifications and he's actually got way more skill, way more experience than the position is needed for the position, but you're still willing to do it, why wouldn't I take a rock star who's willing to play a role? Does that make sense to you, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
So they're lying to you. So what we've got to figure out is, what are you going for? How are you going for it? And what are the clues? What are the patterns that we can see and figure out what the breakthrough needs to be? So what is it that you want to do? Like, forget what you've been going after outside of automotive. I think you want to stay in the automotive industry. What does that look like for you?
The perfect job would be some kind of like a mechanical testing. That's what I was doing. I'm even willing to do like a military contract, DOD, pharmaceutical. I mean, it's all relative. Principles are the same. It's just different products.
Interesting. Okay. So you would love all that work. And so I heard military, I heard private sector, and then I heard pharmaceutical. You're saying it's all the same type of work, the testing.
Yeah, testing. Like you get a product or an idea from the design team, like what I did. You test it in the real world, test it in a lab setting, and you give results.
Oh,
you say,
love that.
Don't change it or change it.
Great. So you love that kind of work.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, dude, that's where we want to be aiming. And I know you are, but let's be maniacal about it. And we've got to do two things at once. Number one, you may need a day job while you're searching for this kind of work. And you can leave within 6 weeks. I don't care. Let me anticipate one of your questions. So if you go get a day job tomorrow, and then we find one of these testing roles in any of these sectors that we've been discussing, you're out. You walk in one day and go, I'm out. I'm done. Okay? You don't owe them anything. You came in, you did a good job while you're there, but when you get the right role, go get it. Go leave. Hey, I found the role that I'm supposed to be in. I'm out. So the issue becomes, where are these positions available in the Denver area? I would think that they're there, yes or no?
Automotive, very, very select. Other DOD, everything, highly available. But I got one yesterday as they're selecting other candidates. We're a major contractor for the military.
Hold on a second. But that doesn't mean we take our ball and go home, right?
Yeah, correct.
You're not doing it right. You're not, I can just tell you, you're new to Denver, so you don't know a lot of people. True or false?
True.
And because you don't know a lot of people, you feel like, I don't know anybody. True or false?
More so true than false.
Yeah. So you see where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know a lot of people, it ends up being, well, I just don't know anybody. And so you got to work the proximity principle. So if we've identified some DOD opportunities, who do you know? And I know you don't know a lot of people. Who does your wife know? That's at least the two of you. And it's not about who you know sometimes. It's actually about who they know. And you've got to find a connection so that when you're applying in these places, now I know there will be times where you can't do this in your particular situation, but it's like we got to double down and go, the way I'm going to get in over there is I got to get out and start meeting people. When I don't know a ton of people and I've hit my limit, I got to meet more people. Makes sense, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
And when you meet more people and you're spreading the word, and now we're going, hey, I want to get over here. I did this because you've got an impressive resume. Isn't that correct?
I'd hope so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, you've done the work. So really, we got to get you to the interview process. How many actual interviews have you had in this time?
Probably close to 50.
Yeah. So I want you to do two things. Number one, have you used the Ken Coleman resume?
I have not, sir.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I only recently heard about you last month.
This is such good news. So Ryan, I want you to go as soon as the call's over. I want you to go to kencoleman.com. And we've got the Get Hired guides, okay, in our resources.
Okay.
I want you to download, they're all free, by the way. I want you to download the resume guide and the How to Win the Interview guide. And both of those you need to be reading and you need to be changing your resume. There's a free template in the resume guide, but I also have 6 other templates that you may like better that are really snappy looking. And they're available for $9.99. Madison, let's give him the templates. Let's find a way to do that. I'm going to give them to you, Ryan. Everybody else has got to pay for them, okay? But now you got to read the resume guide first before you look at the template because it's going to freak you out. My resume looks different because we start with who you know, and it's really going to put you in a situation where you got to do what I'm teaching. And I know you're new to the show, so I'm happy to give you all this, okay? And then I want you to read the How to Win the Interview guide so that you're crushing your interviews from now on. I'm going to give you all the secrets on how to stand out in the interview process. But while those are great resources, those two resources together aren't the total edge. The last piece is what I'm going to give you, which is a copy of my #1 best-selling book called The Proximity Principle, which says in order to do what Ryan wants to do, he's got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. Well, we know what it is. That's the good news, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find everybody you can that does this kind of testing work and start hanging out with them and get to know them. That's where true opportunity comes in, to where you show up in the interview and you're already way past all the other candidates because of the personal connection. So even the Ken Coleman Show resume, as great as it is, and Ryan, it has helped hundreds of thousands of people. Okay? We still get emails. I sent my resume in, Ken, and Fortune 500 company was like, they'd never seen a resume look like that before. But even my resume is worthless without a relationship. You got to find a relationship. Even somebody back in your past who was in that testing field, maybe your superior, and maybe they know somebody in the Denver area, or they know somebody somewhere else who then knows somebody in Denver. You got to go back, man. Make all the connections possible. You tracking with me?
Yes, sir.
That's where opportunity comes. So I'm going to give you the book. It's an easy read. You're a guy that it was written for. The Proximity Principle, because it took off on the show, me just telling callers about it. We wrote it for somebody who knows what they want to do. That's you, but doesn't know how to get there. So that plus the free guides, you're going to get there. Do what I tell you to do and don't quit. Madison, please take care, Ryan. That would be very helpful. All right, Joe, quick break. When we come back, I'm going to take your questions from the chat room, and I'm going to teach on the 5 reasons you should consider leaving your job. This is the Ken Coleman Show. We were drawn to Christian healthcare ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you get clear and then get qualified and then get connected, then get started, then get promoted, get the dream job, to give yourself away, to work like no one else, to work with meaning and expand on that dream job and that vision where you see your impact and your income come together. That's the journey. What stage are you in? Let us know. We'll help you get to the next stage. 844-747-2577. Let's go to the chat room. You can always engage in the chat room by submitting your questions right there, and we'll get to them. They send them up here to the little laptop, and we go through those. Also, I'd love for you to give us a thumbs up. I don't ask for this every day. This really helps us grow. I don't understand the algorithms and all that, all the smart people on my team do. So if you're enjoying the show as you watch each day or every other day, or when you're watching, would you go right below the window and hit that thumbs up saying you like the show and it's helping you? And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're not going to hit you with any spam, but it helps us grow, and we are growing. And also feel free to share. So easy to click on the share link below the video window and share via email or social media an episode or a clip that we put out here. So thank you for considering that. Here we go. Renee writes in, as a business owner, how do I go about making accurate financial projections for my cost and revenue? Okay, unless I'm missing something here. Pretty simple. You need to look at several months of your costs, your expenses. Maybe you look at a year, but you want to look at enough of your expenses to get a good idea, a specific cost each month, or if it's fluctuating, how much is it fluctuating? When is it fluctuating? Why is it fluctuating? Those would be the questions that, if I was going to sit down and do what you're asking with my accountant or my bookkeeper for the business, and hopefully you have one. If not, you need to get one. But I would walk through those questions and get those answers. Once you have that information, now you're in a place where you can actually project your costs. So we now know, okay, in order to do business, get a pretty good idea month over month or quarter. The quarters may change. And now I've got my projections on costs. Now we look at our revenue. And that's going to also, same kind of thing. What is my average revenue? Does it fluctuate a lot? When does it fluctuate? Why does it fluctuate? Same group of questions for revenue. And when you do that, now you're in a place where you can begin to project. And I think here's the key. The word is project. It's not predict. This is business. Business changes. So really learning the fundamentals and having a really good knowledge of the answers to those questions I just gave you will help you project. And as you project, you'll get better and better and better at projecting. Kyle writes in, Ken, how did you go about discovering your talents and skills to find your dream job? Well, pretty simple. I started just by myself one day, and I just did a little self-assessment, and I just began to ask questions. What was I always good at as a kid? Just like early, before we're ever measuring little Ken, what did people say? What did they compliment me on? What do I remember being pretty gifted at? And some people struggle thinking good things about themselves. So those who struggle to think good things about themselves, let me take you to your natural default to actually get your talents and skills. Start thinking about what you suck at. Let's just begin the self-awareness process. You're already negative about yourself. Let's go ahead and soak in that for a moment, and I mean a moment. And go, well, I'm really, really awful at this. So now we're going, okay, now I'm flowing. I'm really awful at this. Because here's what the brain will do. If anybody in the control room said to me, Ken, what were the subjects you were awful at in school? I would instinctively say math and science. But as I'm revealing what I was awful at, Joe, I am also going, what's the converse? Your brain just goes there. Am I right? So you go, I was awful at math and science, but then your brain starts to go, but I was good at English and I was good at history. So sometimes going to that negative bent to go, this is what I suck at, helps to begin to reveal what you're good at, okay? And so that's what I started. I started with self-reflection. Then this is so key, Kyle, listen to me. Now we want to take your list and we want to sit down with people who know you really well, but also will tell you the truth. Gosh, some of the most harmful people in our lives are the people that know us well and love us deeply, but won't be honest with us. Oh, that's deep. I mean, we've all seen it on these reality shows where people go like American Idol or America's Got Talent. And these people go out and make fools of themselves. Now, one major reason is a lot of these people are delusional. But another major reason is a lot of these people have become delusional because mama and dad and big mama and granddaddy and whoever else in their life lied to them when they said, "Can I sing?" And they said, "You can sing so good, baby." When in all reality, it sounds like someone's hitting a goose with a hammer. Oh, stop. So, feedback from people who know you well, love you deeply, but also will shoot you straight. That's part of this exercise. So we take our list of self-awareness and we show it to others and we get them to comment on it. Why? Because we want to make sure that we are seeing ourselves the way the rest of the world sees us. And that's how you get the list. Pretty simple stuff. 844-747-2577. All right, I got to pull up my notes here. 5 reasons why you should consider leaving your job. Now, please hear me, because this blew up. We did a post on this on Instagram, at Ken Coleman, by the way. I think we did it on Facebook as well. It's gone bananas. Because I think a lot of you are looking for permission to leave. And we put this post out to say, let's look at the 5 reasons that you should truly go, you know what, I should at least consider leaving. But again, consider. I'm not saying you immediately leave, because there could be ways to solve these challenges. There could be things you need to do that would eliminate some of these things. So we start at consider. All right, here they are. Number 1, you have no juice, no passion for the work. When we talk about the sweet spot, we say you use what you do best, that's your talent, to perform work that you love. So we measure that, this work you love, by 2 things, emotion and devotion. Do you get excited about the work when you think about it? Like I get excited about speaking. I'm speaking this week at a church. I don't normally speak in churches. I love to speak in church. I love to preach. I'm a preacher's boy. And back in the old days, Joe used to play Son of a Preacher Man all the time on the old radio show. I love to preach. I preach here. That's what I'm doing. I'm preaching. But I get excited about it, Joe. Like I'm already thinking about the message. And I'm going to be away preaching. I'm excited about it. I'm going to wake up Sunday morning early going, I got 3 services. I'm not exhausted by that. I'm fired up. I love this show. I could be in a morning slog of meetings, which I can't stand. Everybody knows that, but that's not a secret to anybody that works with me. I'm not a fan of meetings. I like conversations. I'll let you all stew on that and figure that out. I'll address that some other time. There is a difference. But the point is that I get excited about the work when I think about it. And then when I'm in the middle of it, like I'm having the time of my life right now. Don't tell Dave I said this, but I feel like I'm stealing Dave Ramsey's money right now. He's paying me to have fun. Are you kidding me right now? So if you don't feel that way, emotion and devotion, like you're not willing to put in the extra time to be really good at this thing you love, that's devotion. Emotion, devotion. If you don't have high emotion, high devotion, you got no juice, you got no passion for the work. That's one reason to consider leaving. Number 2, toxicity. Toxic leader, toxic coworkers. Oh my gosh, we hear this all the time on the show. Ken, I love my work. I love the work I do. I love my job, Ken, but I'm miserable. Is there something wrong with me? Am I confused? No. You can be right in the middle of your sweet spot. But if you're in a toxic workplace, or you've got a toxic leader, which will create a toxic workplace, a weak leader will allow toxic coworkers. It just will. And if you're miserable, even though you're enjoying what you're doing, but you're miserable while you do it, it's not fun. Let me give you an example. I love to play golf. I do not like to play golf in 40-degree or less weather. You could take me to the most beautiful golf course I've ever played, which is Pebble Beach. Okay? Madison's loving this. I think. She rolled her eyes. I never know with her. Madison, if you take me to Pebble Beach and you say you get to play a free round, I'm all excited. I'm ready to go. I'm running home, packing my bags, getting my clubs ready. But if the rest of the sentence is, but it's going to be 30 degrees, I am immediately not excited. I don't want to play golf at Pebble Beach and freeze. Now, Joe, I love playing golf. I don't want to play golf and freeze. That's the idea of you love the work, but you're in a toxic environment. Maybe I like the first 2 holes because I go, it's Pebble. I'm going to see if I warm up. But the 3rd or 4th hole, when I can't feel my fingers, my nose is running, my ears hurt, my feet are cold, I'm like, I'm not doing this. You get the point. 3rd reason, you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed. You feel so stressed out, so much anxiety. You feel like you're trying to spin 30 plates, and it's the type of feeling that you never get rid of that fog of being overwhelmed. You go home, you're worried about it. The next morning you get in the car, you're stressed out before you even get to the parking lot. You're overwhelmed, drinking water from a fire hose. Number 4, underappreciated. We know from several HR studies that men and women would rather receive public recognition or some type of reward that's non-financial. They'd rather receive that than a raise. Some of you are going, huh? Wait a second. Think about that. How many of you have gotten raises before, but you still wanted to leave? You know people like that. Why? One of the core human desires is to be seen, to be known. That's the attaboy, attagirl, pat on the back. You're doing great. We see you. We appreciate you. If you're underappreciated, I'm telling you, that's going to turn into a really, really toxic situation in your soul. I'd consider leaving because there's some leadership issues probably. Now, the reason I said consider, some of you are feeling underappreciated and you're not underappreciated, but you're feeling that way. So you got to figure that out. Got to be honest. And the last one, you're bored. Oh, this is so funny. When we get callers on this and they're wondering why they want to leave, and I'll go through all these things and we get to it, they're just bored. They've mastered the task. They've mastered the role. It's not fun anymore. There's no challenge. You can do this with a kid. You can teach an elementary school kid a problem, a math problem, and you keep giving them the same type of problem over and over again, they're just going to be bored. They're not going to be motivated. But then you go to Johnny or Susie and you give them a different problem. They go, oh, they perk up. Why? New challenge. That's why your kids will stop playing a video game. Once my boys get through their games, whatever levels they are, like Star Wars, they don't touch it anymore. I go, why aren't you playing Star Wars? Oh, we finished the game. What do you mean you finished the game? Well, it's got levels, Dad, and we got through all the levels. They're not interested in replaying the game. This is my point. When we are bored, folks, it speaks to one of the primal desires that we as humans have, and it's we long for a challenge. We want to be tested. So don't underestimate that some of you are miserable in your work because you're bored. You're just like this, refresh on Facebook. Where are the cat videos? Oh my gosh, why aren't my friends on Facebook today? I'm bored out of my mind. If that's you, you should be considering leaving. So there you go, the 5 reasons to consider leaving. By the way, we have a lot of great content like that on Instagram and Facebook. Search the Ken Coleman Show on Facebook, at Ken Coleman on Instagram, and you're going to keep getting goodness like that. All right, Joe. Turns out that I'm running out of time, but before I do, you matter, and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.